As a couple of minutes in, so we'll just let them come on in. So we're going live to LinkedIn, live to YouTube as usual. This is the lead generation masterclass. Today we're on week 10 or 11. I can't remember. I've lost track now. I think we're on week 11 because we're starting something new, which is all about scheduling and appointment setting. So let's just give it another minute and we'll kick off. You've probably been to this session before, Lily. I'm not sure. Have you?
No, I missed this one last time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So hopefully this will be a good one for you then, just to get control of that calendar again. We'll make a start because there's quite a bit to cover. And then if people drip in, they will. So I'll do a quick introduction. Welcome. We're going to look at the importance of appointment setting and scheduling and how that kind of fits in with what you're doing. We'll look at Calendly. Calendly is a fantastic tool for a software tool for kind of automating this process, having a digital diary. So we'll drive into kind of Calendly and how you can utilize that. So also a great free tool, a great starting point for many. Good morning, Richard. Good to see you. And then I'll showcase kind of how I'm scheduling, what I'm up to in terms of behind the scenes at Leadith, how it's working for me. We'll do a bit of Q&A. So the session's around about 30 minutes. We should be done by 10 o'clock. I'm just going to have a quick look at my schedule today. Yeah, I'm okay for 15 minutes after this as well, if anyone wants to hang on for questions. So, morning everyone. Welcome to the masterclass if you're tuning into the live stream on LinkedIn, and also this goes out to YouTube. Today, our focus is scheduling, and we're just going to go through some of the basics of setting up a system that's going to help you kind of give you back more time and automate some of your kind of back-end processes. So I'm the founder of Leadith. Leadith is a powerful lead generation agency, and we exist to support business owners to achieve their sales goals through automating much of their lead generation processes. So when it comes to appointment setting and scheduling, we're going to do a quick poll. So I'll just release the poll. There's only 2 of you in there answering it, so feel free to choose your option. Are you currently using scheduling software for appointment setting? Yes, you are using it already. No, you prefer to schedule appointments manually, or you've used it in the past maybe. 1 vote in. Richard, if you, I don't know if, waiting for 1 more vote. There we go. So 2 votes in. We can submit that now. Oh, I have to vote myself. There we go. So 2 of us are using scheduling software, and 1 it prefers to do the appointments manually. So hopefully we'll look at some of those reasons and the benefits why scheduling can be quite powerful for you. Great. Okay, so we're going to look at how to effectively set these appointments, and in terms of a lead generation, why that's so important, and then working that through to closing deals. We're going to look at strategies for how to identify the right prospects and set up those appointments so that they convert, how to use tools like Calendly that are going to streamline the process to save you time, and then we'll look at best practices. If there's time, I'm going to hopefully dip into some of my tools that I'm using and show you some of the things that I've set up, that kind of how I'm adding in margin into my days and achieving all that I'm achieving. So hopefully by the end of this masterclass, you're going to have a kind of solid understanding of that whole appointment setting process, the importance of it, and then how to kind of organize your schedule along with some practical tips and hopefully some tools that you can take away with you. So let's get started. Now, where does this all fit in with the Leadith roadmap and the Leadith journey? It fits in right at the end here, stage 6. Okay, so at Leadith, we're all about helping people who are struggling to get any sales on LinkedIn to having more sales and more time. That's the key here. And the way we do that is we take people on this journey. Stage 1, we look at their target audience. Stage 2, we optimize their personal LinkedIn profile so it speaks to clarity to that audience. So when someone sees your profile straight away, they know what you're about. They know what the next step is. We then leverage LinkedIn outreach automation by using automated messages that are heavily personalized using AI to kind of icebreakers, things like that, to kind of get the conversation started. The natural follow-up step is to take the conversation onto email. And then stage 5, which we've looked at for the last 2 weeks, is all about video content marketing, having a bit of a social media strategy around getting your content out there, because that's an inbound lead generation method, whereas the outreach in that's all outbound. And then appointment setting in stage 6 kind of cements all this. So this is driving people to an appointment is our goal. So we can meet with people, get to know them even better, build that relationship, and hopefully they will then, you know, will get a sale as a result of it. So the two most important things in business are probably, I would say, generating those leads and finding customers. That's probably the primary task that you've got to do. If you don't do that, the business will flop. You need a steady stream of leads coming into the business. The second most important thing in business is to nurture those customers. We've got to nurture them and make sure we retain them for as long as possible. So if you can master those two skills in business, you can probably create any business you wanted to create, because they are probably the most important skills that I would say you need. So scheduling is quite helpful in all of this, and it will just help us. Let's have a look at the next slide. What's the importance of scheduling? Why is it important? And we're going to look at some of the common challenges that business face in this area. Quick statistic: 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls after the initial contact. 44% of sales reps give up after the first no. I don't know if you've done any cold calling. I have. I've been on the phones. It's not a very pleasant experience. Some people are very good at it. But, after that first no, that's it. They might just, switch off. But we need to be persistent here. This is a statistic that I found, and it's just so true. So many of my clients, they don't have a telephone call as part of the stage of their sequence. And so I'm now trying to encourage clients, when I'm creating lead campaigns for them, I'm saying to them, 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls. I mean, that's a crazy amount. But just even if we could get 1 follow-up call, I think that would help them in terms of generating more sales, building up relationships quicker. Telephones are just so underestimated these days. I mean, people just don't have the time quite often. So it is quite a manual task in terms of that whole process. If you can create a system that doesn't need it, great. But I think relationships just kind of are supercharged with a phone call stage. So why effective appointment setting and scheduling is crucial for small businesses. I put the emphasis on small businesses here because that's pretty much my background, being involved in small businesses, starting with small businesses, being an ambassador for the Federation of Small Businesses. So kind of my background is small business. And when we talk about small, we're talking kind of up to, 100 employees or thereabouts. So as a small business owner, your time is valuable. You've got to make every single minute count. And that's why effective, appointment setting and scheduling comes in. It's the process of managing your calendar, booking those appointments with potential clients or even customers, so you can then focus on doing what you do best, running your business. If you're not managing those appointments and schedule effectively, then potentially you're going to be missing out on a lot of sales and a lot of revenue. For example, you might be double booking appointments or forgetting about important meetings. Obviously, that's going to damage your reputation, and that could cause you to lose out on a lot of business. So effective appointment setting and scheduling, it's going to help you to improve your productivity and reduce stress. And having a clear schedule, knowing exactly what you need to do, by when, helping you to plan your day more effectively and avoid that last minute rush. I mean, it's just life, isn't it? Things do happen day to day. So you have to buffer in time in your day to kind of cope with things like that do crop up. But despite, its importance, many small businesses struggle with appointment setting and scheduling. And it's can be a very time consuming process to kind of stay organized and keep on track of everything when you're spinning lots of plates. Some of the common challenges that businesses face: finding the right tools and software to manage their calendar and appointments. That's a kind of a biggie. certainly my experience with dealing with clients over the last few years, and where scheduling has been key for all of their businesses, dealing with no-shows and last-minute cancellations is a cost factor. If you're waiting and a client's not turning up, or maybe a prospect's not turning up for that demo call, you're twiddling your thumbs for an hour. So it's important to kind of deal with these no-shows in an effective way. Coordinating schedules with multiple team members or clients. So if you've got multiple people taking on calls, or you're working as part of a bigger team, it starts to become a bit of a logistical nightmare. So you really do have to leverage software to kind of automate all of this. Managing time zones in different, remote or international clients. Obviously, that can be a huge challenge. I haven't got. I'd love to have one of those corporate like 6 clocks on the wall. They look really cool at different times. But yeah, just doing the maths and working out. I've got a client in New York. She's 5 hours behind, so I've got to work out. How can I facilitate meetings for her and still kind of give her the same quality of service. Often people struggle to find the time to manage appointments alongside all their day-to-day business tasks. I've got one client he's more phone driven, and he just loves the telephone, and he'll stay on the phone all day chatting to clients and stuff like that. He gets bogged down, and just some of the admin stuff gets neglected quite often. So in this next section, we're going to look at some of the ways and some of the solutions that can kind of overcome these challenges, and how you can set appointments and start scheduling like a pro. And we'll look at Calendly, because I believe Calendly is a fantastic solution. It's kind of free to begin with, so you haven't got to pay for it. When you start to pay for Calendly, it does unlock a lot of extra features that will help you out. So with Calendly, you can set up your availability, and then you can let others schedule meeting at a time that works best for both parties. And that's going to eliminate for all those back and forth emails, phone calls, text messages, WhatsApps to find a mutually convenient time. It's literally one quick link. There you go. There's my diary. Off you go, sort of thing. So using scheduling tools is really going to help you to stay organized. And obviously, Calendly is really helpful because it can help you to kind of schedule meetings automatically. They will get added to your master calendar, and then that will stay synced with all your other apps that you're using as well. So that means that you don't have to worry about kind of manually adding appointments. That's a very time-consuming task. Sending reminders and forgetting to add important details like the meeting location. Quite often, I've booked meetings with other people and they've not provided the meeting location, and you're there thinking, where am I meeting this person? What's going on? Especially in today's age where we're all meeting online more and more often. Another benefit of using scheduling tools is that it's going to help you to reduce the no-shows and those last-minute cancellations that do happen from time to time. Because we can actually require participants to confirm their attendance, and we can also get them to send automated reminders. So normally I do a day before the meeting a reminder, and then I do an hour before the meeting. And some people even do a 15-minute or a 5-minute. The meeting is now starting. Here's a quick reminder as well. So when you start to send those reminders out, there's no way of people pulling out and cancelling on you. So that's quite a key thing. And finally, obviously, scheduling tools like Calendly can also improve your professional image. People recognize it. They feel familiar and comfortable with the landing pages, and that's going to improve that whole experience for your clients and colleagues and partners, and help you to stay a bit more organized and reliable with your timings. So I'm happy to dive into the Calendly tool just to show you what this looks like. So this is the back end of Calendly. Once you sign up to a free account, you'll come here and you can basically create what's called an event type. Now, because I'm on the free version of Calendly, I've already created my one live event type that I can have. So there's different types of events. We can create one-to-one events. We can create group events where you might be hosting a webinar or an online class or something like that. You might have a collective event where it requires more than one person to host it, or more than one person involved. So it's pulling in two different calendars, and so that's pretty clever stuff. Or you might want a round robin event. So if you've got a sales team and 6 reps, you've got all their availabilities, you can then bring all those guys into a central calendar. So then they'll basically give them priority over who takes the most calls, or you can divvy it out evenly. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. I'm just going to show you a basic one-to-one event. So I've preloaded my event with my logo, and obviously I've got my faces on there. We can also give the event a color as well here with Calendly. I think if you pay for Calendar, you can probably customize the color. The event name, so you could call it 30-minute demo call or something like that. Excuse the spelling. You specify the duration of your meeting, so 30-minute meetings, and what type of meeting is it? So is it a Zoom meeting? Is it a phone call? Even if it's just always phone calls, you can schedule phone calls. Or it could be an in-person meeting. I mean, if it's an in-person meeting, you can actually choose in person and say, right, what's the location address? And you can basically get somebody to type in the location of where they want to meet you. Or you can go with a custom one and specify a custom location every time. So that's ask the invitee if you want them to choose where to meet you. But most people use Zoom, Google Meets, or I use the Sessions platform, so I would put in custom link and put my Sessions link in here. It works well with Teams as well, so Microsoft Teams if you're on the Microsoft ecosystem, WebEx and GoToMeeting, a few other platforms there as well. So once you've decided what you're doing, then you need to specify your go continue. It doesn't like Microsoft Teams for me because I haven't got it integrated, but I'll push on to see as far as I can get. All these options here come up, and these are really good options for you to kind of implement into your system. So scheduling settings, these are probably quite important. So how far in the future do you want to specify that someone can book a time with you? If you go too far ahead, that can cause conflicts, because if you haven't pre-booked your holidays in a month's time, you could end up booking over holidays and things. So I would always recommend starting around about 2 weeks, so 14 days. So open up your calendar for 14 days. Normally that's sufficient enough. If somebody's interested, they want a meeting with you, they probably don't want it in 2 months' time because the timing's not quite right. They're probably not a great fit for you if that's the case. So normally a 14-day window is going to encourage people to book in because they can see your availability. And obviously, as these availabilities drop off, that becomes more of an incentive for them to book in, because often I've got my onboarding calls. I now kind of have to schedule those beyond 2 weeks because I'm just so busy with those, and I only have a limited number of days that I do the onboarding calls, and I only max those out at 3 or 4 onboarding calls per week, so I don't get burnt out on the onboarding calls. But it just means there's an availability there. People can see, they're going to have to wait a week. Gives me time to prepare for that call as well. Buffer times are great. So you can actually specify a before the event buffer and an after event. So if you've got to do some preparation for the client or the prospect before your meeting, you can buffer a 15-minute time zone. And it's also great to buffer in some time after the call as well. So if it's a 15-minute call, you're now buffering 15 minutes at the start of the call, the 30-minute call, and then a 15-minute buffer at the end of the call. So if your call does slip over, you've got a bit of a margin there to allow you to kind of just to schedule that in. And that's the importance with scheduling. You've got to put those natural breaks into your diary and try and make sure people can't book in. So on my diary, I have a lunch hour, 12 till 1 every single day. That's my lunch hour. So nobody can book an appointment during that time. I can manually override it if I want to, or if my day changes a little bit. But it just means I've got a margin there for lunch. I've got a bit of buffer for carrying on if a late 11 o'clock meeting goes over. So having a buffer time is critical to what you do. You can specify minimum notice periods and things like that. Again, really helpful for if you don't want to meet the same day, you can push this on to maybe a 1 day, 1 day's time. So they can't, if things happen on a day-to-day basis, you can't quite plan for those unexpected things, or you've got other businesses, I don't know what might come up, then you can push this for a day, so they can't book it until at least a day later. You can also specify daily limits as well. So how many meetings do you want per day? There's something called Zoom fatigue, which is basically like a mini burnout where people can get from being on Zoom calls for too long periods of time. So you can actually restrict it and say, right, I don't want more than 2 calls a day. So that's maxed out. So it won't allow anyone else to book in beyond that period as well. And obviously, we can also specify the time zone. This is all built in. So if someone's coming to your booking page from another country, it will detect their country automatically. For example, CET, Central European Time now, and then it will adjust all the timings based on their time zone automatically. So that's one of the beauties of working with people internationally, not having to faff with adding and subtracting hours. I know Richard's a mathematician; you probably do it off the back of your head really easily. So, but for me, you're just adding that 5 hours on. It prevents you've got British summertime, you've got the hour changes. It's just something that you don't have to worry about, and just to give someone the day, say right there, the slots for your time zone. Just book whichever you want. It comes through perfectly. Yeah, so that's a little bit about kind of some of the scheduling settings that you can do. Obviously, once they've booked, you can then come in here and say, right, what do you want to ask them before they book this call? So once they've clicked on the specific time slot, it would then take them to another question, which is what's their name, what's their email address, would they like to add a guest to the meeting as well? And or you can create your own custom questions that are going to help you have some more questions before you meet with them, and that's really helpful because that'll come through on the email before the meeting, so you can see what sort of things are they asking you about. So a super quick demo of the Calendly system. Obviously, we can set up information pages or drive people into a call to action, which could be, taking them to another form or another website or a landing page with a video on it. So the possibilities are endless with this system. You can set up text message reminders to remind people to show up and stuff like that. So that's a super high level overview of Calendly. Great system. Do check it out because it's well worth having a look at it and utilizing it within your business. Even if you're just, you have limited availability, setting up that master calendar with your availability, it's just going to encourage more people to get in touch and try and sell the benefits of those meetings with people as well. I'm going to run through a little bit of kind of behind the scenes of Leadith and what we're doing at Leadith as well. So we don't actually use the Calendly system. We've got a platform here, which is our built-in CRM. Within our CRM, we can switch here to a different workspace. I'll just go to my Leadith workspace, and we've got calendars. So I've hooked up all my Google calendars. As you can see, my days are pretty busy. I've got Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays are working days for me. And I've basically carved out no work day on a Wednesday, no work day on a Friday. So days are busy, so I need to cram in quite a few little meetings left, right, and centre, plenty of buffering time. So within the calendar settings, different types of meetings here, a bit like Calendly, so we can set up onboarding calls with clients, next step review call, follow-up clients. It could be what I call a strategic partnership call, where I'm just having a bit of a one-to-one with someone for 30 minutes and exploring, if there's any synergy there. And I also have my discovery consultations, and these are the ones that I've actually got a closer, Bush, who sits these calls. So within these calendars, we can then basically specify all the different settings, a bit like in Calendly, but it's just done through our own system, and it means we've got full tracking, a full audit record of all the calls that have happened, all the events that have happened, and everything that goes on. The power of using this system is that we have something called workflows. Here's a great workflow that I've been using recently. This is called the no-show. No-show. Here it is. So it's called. I'm just going to try and find it for you. Discovery consultation workflows. Yeah, I think it's on this one. No-show nurture. So it's called a no-show nurture, basically. And the way this works is we create this trigger, and the trigger is if they don't show up to a meeting. So automatically, it sends them the reschedule email. And this is, hey, sorry you missed our call, blah, blah, blah. Let's book another one in. Here's the link, and also a bit of advertising to kind of promote what we're doing as well. We've also got an SMS, so we've got a text message that will go out to them as well, saying, "Hey, sorry you couldn't make a discovery call today. Blah blah blah. Please feel free to book another one." Just noticed a web link there needed changing. Save that, and then wait a day, and then we'll push out another message. So if they've still not booked in a call with us, that will be persistent and send them another message, and then we can also update the opportunity in the pipeline. So put them back into maybe a warm lead status, because they're obviously, ghosted you. So we need to pull them out of the previous state that they were in the sales pipeline. So these automations are so powerful and critical to what we can do in business. Okay, let's. I think we're kind of almost there for today. Any questions from the floor at all? Richard, anything from you? Unfortunately, I can't hear you. I've got no audio coming from you, Richard. So it could be your microphone may have unplugged, or it says you're muted now. No, nothing from. Not to worry. We'll just check on the live stream as well, see if there's any questions there as well. Maybe you can type your biggest takeaway in the chat. What you found useful from this session, that would be really helpful. Morning, Andrew, if you're tuning in on the live stream. So for those of you who are watching this on the live stream, normally we have a free discovery consultation, which you're free to. The benefits of the discovery consultation is to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have about our services. So if you want to explore that, either scan the QR code on the screen, or you can visit our website, which is leadif.io/discovery. That will then take you to a scheduling page, believe it or not. So you can actually have a look at the funnel in practice and see what it's working like for us. So that's the scheduling page. Additionally, those discovery calls that basically give you a chance to get to know me and ensure we're a good fit for each other. Firm believer of building strong, lasting relationships with my clients and working closely with them to ensure their success. So when you start to book this discovery call, you'll basically get a kickstart and learn about how this software can help you and how I can support you to make sure Leadith is a good choice for you. The discovery calls, they're completely free. As I say, I've got a guy called Bush who takes those calls. 45 minutes. The aim is just to add value on those calls. So yeah, look forward to having one of those sessions with you if you're on tuning in. So this is where the scheduling calls will come to. There's availability on Thursday, Friday. So you can see our scheduling page here in action. So you can choose the relevant time, the relevant date. And then obviously the questions that we ask will come up on the next window. Or not, as the case may be, because everyone's booked them all already. Yeah. So I hope you found the session useful. Sorry that we couldn't hear you today, Richard. I'm not sure where the audio's gone. You were there to begin with, but it seems to have disappeared. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the call, and Lulu also. This will be made available as a recording in the school community. For those of you not already aware of the school community, feel free to head over to leadif.io/school. That's SKOOL. It takes you to a website that looks a little bit like this. I'll give you a quick, super fast demo of the school platform. Here's our school community. You can see what's going on here in the school community. We've got loads of stuff, loads of fun things for you to look at. Discussion forum, so be active in the discussion forum. We talk about lead generation tactics, all the stuff we've talked about today. Maybe you've got a question about scheduling. Great place for you to come. It's still free to join the community. And there's just all this value here, absolutely loads of value. We've got something called the Lead Generation Masterclass Archive. So that's the repository of all the different videos that we've done for the last 2 years. Those go right back. And we've also got a few guest speaker events at the bottom there. So you can tune in to any of these sessions that we've done previously. They used to be an hour long. Certainly last year, they were all an hour long. This year, we've gone down to half an hour on those sessions. If you're a paying Leadeth client, you've got access to the calendar. And this is where you can access. There are some public events on here as well. Like today, we're doing an event at 1 o'clock called Marketing for Tough Times, if you're interested, with a Leadeth client of mine. We've also got these, client drop-in sessions. So I actually run a client drop-in session every 3 days a week. And they're where I support my clients with their use of the Leadeth software. So these are the clients that are on a done with you type of service. We've also got a leaderboard, so you can work your way up levels to unlock one-to-ones with me. I'll also take you out to lunch if you get to level 8 as well. So feel free to check that out. That's the Leadeth School community, leadeth.io/school. It'd be great to have you there as a member and join in the conversation, join in the discussion. That's all for today, really. It'd be great. Let's have a quick look at. So next week, we're going to go a bit further in terms of the scheduling and appointment setting side. Maybe I'll dive into the actual Leadeth platform a little bit more, just to show you how what we're doing with the Leadeth platform in terms of dropping in those Calendly links, because there are places to drop them in and make the whole conversation seamless, really, with your prospects. So I hope you found this useful. Do give us a like, comment in the comments below if you're online. That all helps us. If you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell notification, and then you'll get the next video for the next week. But yeah, that's all from me today, and look forward to seeing you next week, where we'll continue with the lead generation masterclass. It will be week 12, and then we've got one other after that, and then we go right the way back to the start, and we look at more kind of lead generation ideas for B2B generating leads using LinkedIn.